those people who purchase and manage management rights complexes. So, there are some very large ones here in the city, and they're for long-term rental accommodation. What happens is investors, for those of you who are not aware of what management rights complexes are, where investors buy individual lots within a plan, and they are then managed by somebody else. Now, whether that's holiday accommodation, which is usually the case, or whether it is long-term accommodation, doesn't matter. It is still, the on-site manager doesn't necessarily get the management of it. They don't purchase the rights to that management. They have to obviously win the listing. But being the person on the spot in the complex, if they're doing the right thing, they will generally get those listings because they are the person that's there all the time. So they certainly when they purchase management rights, they are purchasing the rights to be the only agency in that particular complex. Now, there could be an agency next door, and they can manage properties within that agency as well, but it's the on-site manager. Now, to do that job in there and manage those apartments or townhouses or bungalows or whatever they happen to be within the management rights complex, there is obviously an agent-landlord relationship going on there. Therefore, there needs to be agency agreements. Therefore, it is a real estate function. Now, managed in a different way and some different rules for that short-term accommodation, but still managed as an agency function. So some agencies do holiday lets and they call it that short-term rental, but this is about when it's within one particular complex. And there's a particular type of licence for that. And it's called an on-site residential property manager's licence. And that's fine. It needs to be, because somebody is running their own business, it needs to be a Class 1 licence, because anyone running a business must have a Class 1 licence. Now, the new qualifications order that came in on the 23rd of March 2020 said that to get to a Class 1 real estate licence is from scratch is going to take you a minimum of 3 years. So 1 year on a certificate of registration, and whilst you do your licensing course, get to a Class 2, 2 years with a Class 2 licence, get your diploma and move on to make an application for a Class 1. Now, that's to get a full real estate licence. However, to get a real estate licence with the on-site residential property manager restriction condition on that licence, somebody can make an application to go from nothing straight to a Class 1 with that on-site restriction. Now, that means that they can only manage the properties within that management rights complex. They cannot manage properties outside of that complex. They cannot sell the properties. It is about a property management function only. So they can get to a Class 1 immediately and, basically meet all of the normal requirements of a licence, not being a disqualified person, fit and proper person, all of those, by the right age, pay the right money, all of those criteria for getting a licence, but they also need to hold the Certificate 4 in Real Estate Practice. Okay, so not the diploma, but the Cert 4 in Real Estate Practice, but it is a restricted licence. So yes, they can get there relatively easily on getting there. Now, that's for people who are buying management rights complexes and can get there. However, if you hold a full real estate licence and it's a Class 1 licence, you can go in there. You can manage that building and anything else, and you can sell the lots within that complex, and you don't actually have to live on site. So there's two options here. So if you want to know a bit more about on-site management, whether you're looking at purchasing or looking at selling, or looking at taking that on as part of your portfolio, then always, and you want some more information, certainly give us a call and we'll talk you through what are the requirements of getting to that point. So that is part of the qualifications order. There's some other pathways if you've had licenses before or what type of license you have, but the main one is from nothing to that Class 1 on-site license. It's a totally different pathway than getting to a normal Class 1 real estate licence. So just bear that in mind. If you're having anything to do with on-site or management right complexes, give us a yell and we can talk you through that quite easily.